Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's me, the Ludio Double G.
And I'm Real Slim Katie 25. Let's get into it. First up on the menu, we are serving up fresh, hot news, starting with this last week. We got the release of two of the most anticipated comic book series of the year. Probably two of the only really relevant ones is Agatha All Along, the spinoff of WandaVision, based off of Agatha Harkness, played by Catherine Hahn, and HBO Max's The Penguin, spinoff of the Robert Pattinson Batman franchise, where essentially is the Penguin's origin story. Louis, have you watched either of these yet?
No, because I have a life. I'm just kidding.
Get out!
No. The answer to that still is, in fact, no. Although I do not have a life, and I certainly plan to watch them. I know that you have. You have watched one of these for sure.
I have watched. I watched the first two episodes of Agatha All Along when they premiered on Thursday. And by the time this comes out, you will already know my full thoughts. If you've seen my one shot, go ahead and check that out. But I thought this was really fun. I know a lot of people are kind of trashing on this. I don't get the hate. I don't think people hate it. I think a lot of the fan consensus is that it's really fun and really exciting. The first episode tonally is a little different than the second one. The second one is like getting all the characters in and having a good time. And it kind of settles into this like, okay, this is what the series is going to be about. So if you're going to watch the premiere, I'd say definitely watch both episodes at once to give you the full picture and decide if you want to watch the whole rest of the thing. I think you'd love it, Louis.
Cool.
I think you'd love it. And the Batman, the Penguin, it's literally, he's the Batman. He's definitely not in it. Actually has nothing to do with Batman. It's super interesting because Colin Farrell, I don't know if you know this, Louis, hates playing the Penguin.
I mean, with all of those cosmetics he has to put on, like, I don't blame him. I mean, I
need to look at the stats, but it's like hours of putting on makeup.
There's this to that point. There's this Instagram post with an interview with him where he's talking about Penguin, and he's just like talking about the makeup and all of that stuff, and then it cuts to them putting on the full face and like the fat on his neck and just like kind of. Anyway, it's an interesting look on Penguin, and I thought this from when the Batman first came out. It's a little more real life and a little more real, whereas the Penguin normally looks more comic booky. And so I'm just interested to see. I think there's always been potential for there to be like a Sopranos, Breaking Bad kind of style TV show coming from the Bat universe,
right?
With Carmine Falcone, Maroni, Penguin, you name it, all of these like crime bosses in Gotham. So anyway, all that to say, I'm interested to watch it. The thing that is making me kind of like wishy-washy about it is the fact that we are it seems like we're taking the comic book element out of it. And I read a review from IGN, and they gave it a 5 out of 10 the full season. So I'm just kind of like, okay, at least the looks of it seem like we're concentrating a lot more on the crime aspect versus like the thing that makes Oswald Cobblepot look so interesting, right? Which is the fact that he looks like a literal penguin. So anyway, that's just me being like watching the trailer, watching listening to Colin Farrell's interview, and how there's a void in Gotham, and Penguin's gonna try and fill it. So,
well, I think. I mean, if that's their aim, Louis, like you talk about, I think they are succeeding. Critics are absolutely loving this. Forbes, Variety, NPR, USA Today. Not like those are like, the peak of everything. Well, I
mean, like,
but,
yeah. I mean, for sure.
Critics are saying that it is exactly that. HBO, we talk about, I mean, their first big show that HBO produced independently was The Sopranos.
The Sopranos, a ton!
was The Sopranos,
Yeah.
And somebody said that it just feels like they're trying to do a reskin of Sopranos with this on it. But why wouldn't they? If this is the most successful series they have of all time, and one of their most popular, like within Ordinance of DC, one of their biggest, most recognizable franchises, why wouldn't they do that? why wouldn't they? That makes perfect sense to me. So I was reading this review that says it feels like Gotham has its own Succession, which is one of my favorite shows, which got me super excited. If it's super important to you, Massive Peen, our favorite tertiary Geek Gourmet character, my father, has loved this pilot and has given it his Geek Gourmet seal of approval. So one of us is going to watch it and we'll let you know.
I just also want to point out that is his on-screen username. Katie is not saying that their father has a massive peen. I just want to throw that out there.
I feel like if nobody had... I forgot about context.
There's context to this.
Yeah, okay,
Katie's not just saying that
username.
shit.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Or you might see him under his other name, which is in fact Caleb the Bears Savior.
Caleb the
Bears
Savior.
Chicago Bears fan, if you don't know Caleb. He is the quarterback for the Chicago Bears. Anyway, this is not a football podcast.
Anyways,
even though I am sporting my Indianapolis Colts cap, despite the fact that they are 0-2 and topical, going up against the Chicago Bears today and right now as we speak. So,
oh my gosh!
So if I look over to the left, it's because it's at my phone, keeping track of the game.
Louis is so brave for spending a football Sunday recording with me. Like
so brave.
So brave.
Okay, sorry.
Anyways, what's up? What's on your news list for this week?
Oh, baby. So last podcast, one of the first things we talked about was the Josh Brolin potential casting of Green Lantern. Mm-hmm. And he was officially offered the role according to Screen Rant and passed on it. This is interesting, right? So I don't know much about this situation for obvious reasons, but I did read that when the potential news broke out that he might be cast as Hal Jordan, who we know is at this point in the Lantern Corps show is going to be a more gruff, a more seasoned Lantern at this point. Josh Brolin had some things go on legally. When this news broke out that he might potentially be cast as Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, there was a lot of people on like Instagram, on Threads. I don't use Twitter that much, but there's kind of things that I was seeing where people were like, "Oh, great! Now DC is continuing to like do the trend of like hiring assaulters, right?" And so in 2004, Josh Brolin was arrested for hitting his spouse, his wife.
Not domestic violence.
And so I don't know. I mean, maybe he's like gotten better. I would like to think that people like that improve, right? But regardless, so that was kind of a thing that was like I saw kind of wishing about as this was coming to light, the potential of him being Hal Jordan. And I don't know. I almost feel like I don't see a world in which why he would pass on it, other than him being like, hey, I need to step out of the limelight so that I can potentially get jobs in the future, so people forget about this for a little bit.
I have a theory.
Because I was seeing all of this start to bubble up as these rumors came out. So go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know. My theory would be, okay, Josh Brolin is offered Green Lantern, a character that, let's be frank, historically has not done well in cinemas. And a character that, and this is going to be brutal, nobody really cares about too much anyways. I feel like he's such, like, not even a tertiary superhero. I feel like I mean, Green Lantern also came out, the first one, at the start, right? In the, like, wait, what year was that? Like, early, going,
like 2011, 2010?
Yeah, like, early 2010s or whatever, when superhero movies were just like, okay, we're starting to do our thing. And trying to find the footing in that. And I think that was important. That was an important misstep to learn what audiences are looking for. And I think that was important. However, I think getting butts in seats in 2025 or 2026 to see a Green Lantern movie would be a hard task, even for Josh Brolin.
Yeah. I mean, it could be all of those things, truly. The fact that he passed on it, and I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure, not to negate what you're saying, but it is a TV show.
Oh, shit.
Green Lantern Corps is a TV show, HBO Max TV show.
Well, also, that's way more time commitment, too.
Right.
Than a movie.
Absolutely.
So filming wise, it could be schedules. I don't know. I mean, I know, Louis, you know Andrew Rannells, who's kind of this, like, if you know theater, he definitely does a lot of movies and television
boy,
as well.
do I know him.
Boy, do you know him. He was slated to do a musical, and I can't remember if this was late last year or early this year, the Eyes of Tammy Faye musical.
Yeah.
And he was, like, pretty much announced. But there was issues with contract negotiations, and after he was announced, he stepped back from the project, and it was really messy. So all that to say, it could be other stuff behind the scenes. It could be the team he's working with. It could be stuff with his contract, his money, anything like that we just have no idea about.
Yeah, absolutely. But moving on from that and theorizing why Josh Brolin is no longer going to be Green Lantern, the frontrunner was and is Matthew McConaughey after Josh Brolin, which is a very different look and a very different like shape of a person. I feel like Josh Brolin does have more of the Hal Jordan shape. Matthew McConaughey doesn't, at least from comic book to like brain, like what I would envision him, Hal Jordan, looking like. But it's interesting, and I guess we'll see what comes of that. But the internet, and it's crazy because for this talking point, I wanted to show you, Katie. There was somebody on Instagram, I can't remember the name at the moment, of this user who made a Chris Pine, Hal Jordan concept art, photoshopped image. And I read the article about it.
I could see that.
And a lot of people are like, yo, it should be Chris Pine because this picture looks great, right? And I went to the Instagram profile, went to all the links and the photo, and the accounts have all been suspended.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Very interesting.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
Because what is that? Is it like, was it too close to real life and then they were like, stop fucking sharing this shit? Or
it's possible. It is so possible.
Infringement? That's so weird. I also don't know if I see Matthew McConaughey in the superhero genre. Matthew McConaughey, I feel like, is always in these roles where he takes himself incredibly seriously. And I'm not saying that doesn't work for a comic. Like,
I think he could be a villain. I could see him being like Sinestro or something like that. You know, the opposite to the Green Lantern.
That could be cool.
Villain. I think that could be really, because I mean he's got like that like slender body. He just looking at his performances from like Interstellar and things like that. I could see him totally like.
You know who I could see him
bodying
as?
A villain. Who?
Scarecrow.
That would be interesting. That would be super interesting. They should get us in the casting room. Anyways.
Geek Gourmet.
But yeah, that's some stuff going on, and yeah. I think Katie wants to talk about the Emmys for a moment here.
I do a little bit. In terms of like accolades, I feel like there is a certain importance to award shows and ceremonies and stuff, mostly because they just feed back into the projects. And essentially all that energy and stuff bubbles up, and then hopefully people just go watch more things. Ultimately, you know, awards don't necessarily talk about the quality or talent in art, blah, 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 blah. All of that to say, big three winners coming out of last week would be Shogun, the FX series, which I knew because they played the trailers for this TV show in Regal Cinemas for like a year.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen it yet. But boy, am I going to watch it now.
I've heard wonderful things. I've heard it's like Fuel Japan, Game of Thrones kind of style, where it's suspenseful, it's political drama, and things like that. But yeah.
Yeah, so that took home Best Drama, Best Actress, and a drama series. There was a lot of hilarity and jokes poked at The Bear. If you've never seen that, it's a Chicago-based series.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, but I know of it, yes.
Oh, yeah. It's like a culinary drama.
Right.
Super fun, but it is in the comedy category. It is viewed as a comedy in the eyes of the Emmys, which is funny because the show is not known for its comedy. It's known for its character building and like intensity.
I would have assumed it was a drama just from like the memes and the trailers that I watched of The Bear.
And I think a lot of the people who have like seen The Bear in its entirety agree with that statement. Like there's definitely light moments and there's definitely like tongue-in-cheek humor, but I do feel like it's more of a drama. I think a lot of people view it like that. But best comedy went home, and let me double check on that. Hacks was our big winner, which is an HBO Max series with Jean Smart and Hannah. Her last name I always forget to pronounce, but it's about like an old washed up stand-up female comic and her younger protege. It's super funny. It's a hilarious series. It's wonderful. It does have that like kind of cringe comedy sense. So if you don't do well with like awkward situations or high tensions in your comedy, I would avoid this. But yeah, that's pretty much what's jamming with the Emmys.
Nice. No one thing I would like to point out, because we talked about it pretty much as we could throughout the podcast, but Fallout did get nominated for a ton of Emmys. And they did come out with 2, both having to do with music. And I want to point out once again that is so telling of like the vibe of the show in general. Is like the music is just wonderful. The design aspects of the show, the production design, the music choices, and all of those things are just top notch in that show. So they didn't win like the big awards, right? But they did win what I thought they were going to win. And so you should definitely go watch Fallout, if nothing else, than for the music choices. There's a few I would have changed, okay, but nothing's perfect. But no, it was really good. It was really, really good. So go and watch that. And cool. I'm excited for season 2, man. And that should be pretty awesome.
Ugh, I know. Fallout music is kind of what got me into the show. Friend of the show, Jacob, would always play these like Fallout playlists, and I was just like, "Oh,
when would he do that?"
When we were in school.
Oh, really? I don't remember that.
Yeah, but would play the like Fallout playlists and stuff like that, which is just music from like a time period that I like, anyways. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, "God damn, these are all bangers!" But also, I have to shout out friend of the show, Elliot, who actually really did get me into Fallout. I don't want him to listen to this and then be like, "Screw you, Katie."
I think I lent him Fallout 4.
I think you did. I am positive that's correct. I recall.
I think I did, because I remember lending him a bunch of games like over the summer at one point, and then he gave them back. Which, first of all, kudos to him, because whenever I lend out games, I'm like, okay, I'm expecting to get them back in like terrible shape. Right. But he gave them back to me just the way I gave them to him. So shout out to him for being an awesome person and giving me back my games in mint condition. I think I lent him like Arkham Knight and Fallout 4. But anyway,
we love you.
We love you.
Also, Geek Gourmet, sharing is caring, guys. Sharing is caring. Speaking of sharing is caring, Satisfactory 1.0 finally came out in this last week.
Okay.
Game that's been in open access for like, what, 5 years?
Yeah. Have you ever like taken a look at Satisfactory, like played it, watched gameplay, or anything like that?
I've never played it, but I've watched gameplay and seen like clips.
Yeah, I the only connection I have to this is my favorite gaming channel. They'll post Satisfactory now and then, and I know they've always been trying to make it a series. And so my stake in this is not even the fact that I play Satisfactory, but is now hoping that they make a series based off of Satisfactory now, and then I can enjoy it vicariously through them, because I cannot get another game right now.
Damn. But no, I know it's real.
Exciting.
I think it's super interesting because it has been a game that's been on for so long. One of my best buddies, Trey Nicholson, shout out at the Trey Nick Media, by the way, on YouTube. Go check him out and his gaming stuff and movie reviews. But was telling me all about, because he's been into Satisfactory for a long time, about how they were doing like live streams for all the events. Like leading up to the release and interviewing the artists that were working on the game, and how it was just like a big love fest for how much it has grown and changed. And there's actually a streamer called Bits on YouTube who worked like for so long, and he's doing like a marathon stream of streaming for like hundreds of hours on Satisfactory, and like every time somebody subs or whatever, it adds like an hour to the counter. So he's just been playing and is presumably going to be playing for the next month.
God,
I know.
God.
Isn't that crazy? I think that's almost more interesting to me than the actual specs of the game, which is very well reviewed. If you like open world factory sims,
and it's very interesting, like how Satisfactory and 7 Days both kind of had their like 1.0 come out, and they're doing like all these celebrations for it. Just kind of a little tidbit here, along with everything that you're talking about. Um, um, But I'm sorry, football things are happening on my phone right now. Geek Gourmet, there's a Geek Gourmet fantasy football league, so I'm seeing everything that's happening on my phone right now. You got to pay attention to fantasy football. Anyway, so and it really sucks because I love 7 Days, one of my all-time favorite survival games. Obviously, I talk about it so often. But in Dallas, Texas, that's where Fun Pimps, the studio that makes 7 Days, is located in Dallas, Texas. They invited Neebs Gaming, my favorite gaming channel, to go and be at their release event here in Dallas, Texas, the last week going into the first weekend of November. But guess where I'm going to be at, because I work in theater.
At work.
Tech. I'm going to be in tech. So I can't go to Dallas, Texas and be a part of the 7 Days release, even though I could technically get some tickets and go hang out with them. And it hurts. It hurts. But
I'm sorry, bestie.
I'm done with that statement.
It's okay. At least you're not missing much. It's just Dally.
Well, it's not about Dallas. It's about 7 Days to Die.
I know. We'll go to Dallas one day. We'll do a reunion. I'll show you my whole childhood.
Let's do it right now.
Oh my gosh, it'd be so fun.
All right, I'm not gonna go to work
hang out
today.
with Andrew's family.
Sounds great.
They'd love you. They'd eat you up.
I'm glad.
But anyways, that's so unimportant. Louis, what's coming out this week, and what will probably already have been out for like a day or so by the time this podcast comes out.
Yeah, Legends of Zelda. Echoes of Wisdom is coming out in about 4 days. It's exciting stuff. Obviously, we talked about it before. Just, Zelda's the main character. She usually isn't, so that'll be cool and interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder.
What are your predictions?
Excuse me. My predictions. I don't know. My predictions are that it's gonna be
hopes, I guess.
Very like Toon Link kind of style, like Link's Awakening sort of thing. But we'll see. I mean, of course, like they always do something that wows us with just about every game. I don't think it's gonna be on par with like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild and things like that. But I think it'll be something along the lines of Link's Awakening, and there's always fun new powers and things like that to eat up. So I'm excited. I'll play it when I can, maybe on the channel if that's something everybody's interested in. But yeah, those are the kinds of games that I play like on the plane, or like if somebody else is driving on a road trip and things like that. Very, very good time suckers. Art is always beautiful, so
love it. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeehaw. Also, it's important to me. I think I texted you about this, but I want everybody to know that Ewan McGregor got his star of fame, and Hayden Christensen was there to like give a speech for the award, and just talking about like how much they've bonded. And I don't think I realized how close they were, but like obviously we know the like famous lines from Revenge of the Sith. He's like, I loved you. You were like yeah, and then he's like, I hate you. But Hayden Christensen looked over at Ewan and he was like, I love you, brother. And I watched that clip. I genuinely got a little misty-eyed.
A little misty-eyed.
I got a little misty-eyed. It was so
No,
cute.
it's fun. Like, it's great. Yeah.
It's so wholesome. That's
very
so
wholesome.
Silly, but it's important to me.
Well, I think the thing that really stuck out to me in that speech was when Hayden was talking about the first time they met, and he like gave him, like Ewan McGregor gave him a hug, and like there was a real human connection there. It seemed like from that story, and like, yes, the I love you brother thing was beautiful, and I like that too, but I think that little tidbit of a story was telling of the kind of person Ewan McGregor is to at least Hayden. I mean, I don't know about outside that, right? But like the relationship that they cultivated. And I think a part of it is like realizing that this is somebody who you're going to go down in history with, right? Because Star Wars is just so big, but like also just the bonds are beautiful, you know?
It's nice because I think
Go ahead.
There's like certain like definitely people develop parasocial relationships with celebrities to like a weird manner. And like you don't really know these people, right? Like we'll never really know them, but it's just really nice to know that at the end of the day that they love their coworkers so much that they have formed friendships that last way past those jobs and like have become their best friends in life, which I think is something that we can relate to. And I think it's a cute human thing.
Yeah, and I think we can relate to that in theater as well in what we do, because like a lot of the times we only work with people for the duration of a show, and once that show's up and running or done, we're like, maybe we'll see you at some point.
Yeah.
And
then sometimes you stick around and you start a YouTube channel together.
It's weird.
It's weird. Kind of weird.
Okay, next thing. I believe you got this one.
Yeah, this story is for a friend of the show, Kaylee Mans, and Kaylee Mans only. There's not a lot of information about this yet, but Amazon Prime has confirmed that there is a Sims movie in development based off of the Sims video game. If you don't know what that is, this is probably not the podcast for you. The Sims is an it is like a sandbox, like create your own world, live as your own life kind of game, whatever. And Margot Robbie is allegedly attached to this after doing the Barbie movie. So I'm like, what the, like, I don't think replicating, I feel like there was a good emotional impact when watching Barbie, that like the movie transcended the product. I don't know how they would do that with Sims.
Yeah,
I think Barbie worked because the name and the character is so famous outside of the toy itself. Everybody knows what that is. I don't know if that's the same for Sims. I think there's potential for this to be really funny, but I don't know how they would do that and make it feel relevant to people outside of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and to be honest, I've never really played The Sims before, so I couldn't really theorize on that, unfortunately. But it's interesting. It is interesting to see these things, like, because I feel like people were having these conversations when Barbie was first announced. I feel like people were having these conversations when Fallout was first announced, and like all of those things. So it's like things where they're like, I don't know, this can work, where it's like a video game thing, or even the Mario Bros. Movie. Like, how are they going to pull that off? And like those have just become so iconic that you're like, well, of course they did it like that. That makes sense. I just don't know. I've never really played The Sims that much, so
we'll see. I just think that's an interesting thing to keep tabs on. Another thing to keep tabs on is TIFF just happened. The film festival. This is like film festival prime time. Things are starting to release. We're getting first looks, especially heading into not award season, but the time of the year where all of the movies that are in consideration for award season are being released. My most exciting thing, and there's a lot of really exciting things, the Substance new body horror movie is really, really popular right now. But even above that, which I can't wait to see, Tim Robinson, like sketch comic extraordinaire, and Paul Rudd, who you guys know as Ant-Man, have put together a film called Friendship, which was picked up after a festival circuit by distributor A24, which obviously we know I'm a slut for. This will be my most favorite project of all time. I have like the hopes I have for this film are so crazy. If you've never seen, I think you should leave. It's like a sketch comedy show, relies heavily on like cringe comedy, and sketches. It's fantastic. If you have never checked that out, maybe I should do a video of like sketches to introduce you to that. It's a delight. I think this movie will be a delight. I'm excited about it. I don't know if anybody else is, but I am. But Louis, I know there's some TV stuff that you've been excited about this week.
TV stuff
I saw you posted about it on Instagram.
Yes, there is. So there's a little bit of a backstory with this, but essentially, I'm like, I have my notes here, and then they're just like popping all over the place. So if you are not familiar with the route that they're going, I'm trying to get my notes up here. My computer is having a poopy butt time right now.
No, you're good. I just, you know that I'm not. I still haven't watched the first season of One Piece live action.
You should.
I know.
Anyways, boop. My computer. Hold on. I just, where are you? There you are. Okay, we've got it. We're good now. We are all good. All right, let's go back.
Okay.
So One Piece Season 2 is officially begun. They had a table read at some point recently because they were posting all about it. The one thing that is a huge standout is in the show. There is a character by the name of Tony Chopper. You might have seen him. He's like one of the poster children for One Piece because he's a cute little like deer kind of thing. But he is coming out in this season too, and he's not a humanoid character, so he'd have to be CGI, animated, puppeted, something along those lines to make him look like of the world, right. But yeah, so I hope that makes sense to the picture I'm painting here for anybody who doesn't know.
No, I see now.
Yeah. So he has had a few iterations, but I think they're gonna make the iteration that is like post time skipped, where he's like a little cuter rather than like a weird looking, almost like deer looking thing. But anyways, so
the photo's a little unsettling.
Which one are you looking at?
The live action photo.
The one from behind?
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks interesting. I mean, we'll see. This is literally just like what they're ready to show right now. But anyways, so there was some casting announcements with this. So Joe Manganiello is playing Crocodile, Mr. Zero, for this season, which interestingly enough, so go ahead, sorry.
Oh, big name.
Yeah, big name. So I initially was like, oh, for season 2, they're going to go through Alabasta. According to thoughts and opinions all over the web, I thought it would go through the Alabasta arc, but it seems more likely to go through Logtown, through Drum Island. For those of you who don't know, Alabasta is like kind of one of the biggest arcs up until that point. So like, this is where Joe Manganiello's character Crocodile is like the main villain of this whole like saga, whereas Arlong was the main villain for the other one. But this one is a lot longer than the first season, so I feel like they would have to tack on another, like a full 13 episode season if they want to cover all this, or potentially make Alabasta its whole own season or something along those lines. But I think if they add those, because there's only 8 episodes, if they add those extra, 3 + 2, 5 episodes, they could cover everything to where it makes sense. But anyways, all that to say, there's been some casting. So Joe Manganiello, as I said, as Crocodile, and that is the biggest thing. And then,
is there anybody else I would know?
Hold on. Robin casting. I forget her name. I had things in my brain, and now I'm just like pooping.
Robin from Stranger Things.
That what?
Robin from Stranger Things?
No. No. The name of the character is Nico Robin in One Piece, and her name is Lara Obova. Lara Obova is playing Nico Robin, which is interesting, and we'll see, because she's a huge part of the crew. So like in this saga per se, 2 characters join. That'd be Nico Robin and Tony Chopper. So
big titties.
The character?
Yeah.
I mean, they all do. I mean, Nami has big old boobies too. That's just anime for you, dude.
Let me just type in Nami boobies real quick so I can see.
Yeah, so you can visualize what it is I'm talking about.
Nami boobies. Yeah, those are pretty big.
Yep, they're all pretty big. There's not one lady that does not have tickle bitties.
I know. Maybe I was built for anime. I'm not meant to be IRL.
It's possible. But anyways, cool.
Anyways, so let's slide in now to the second edition of our newest segment, Trailer Trash or Treasure, where we decide if these new trailers are trailer trash or trailer treasure. And we're specifically judging these trailers based on how excited they get us for their individual projects. So let's get started. Louis, you just showed me the Venom Last Dance trailer. What are your thoughts?
I could not care. It's trash. I mean, it's just kind of trash. It's interesting that they're bringing Null into the fray. It feels like you kind of have to. There's really nowhere else for the story to go. But Yeah, I mean,
Louis, you watched my face when I was watching this trailer. Did it change at all?
No, I mean, you were just like, okay. I mean, but nobody's really cared about these movies to begin with, so like.
I know. I think this is an impossible task. I feel like it's not fair for us to judge this trailer because how do you get me excited about a franchise that has done nothing but be absolutely disappointing in every aspect?
But that's the reason it works, which is so weird.
I know, because I actually, if you said like, let's put on Venom right now, I'd be like, okay, absolutely. Why? What have these films done to make me like low key feel like I can rewatch them, and then they're horrible every time, but every time I'm like, oh, that sounds fun.
Because they're just fun to make fun of, kind of like Morbius. That's why.
I know. I don't know which one does it better, but my biggest issue with this trailer is it like almost treats their relationship as like they're gonna go through a breakup. Like destroying Venom for the betterment of the future of the planet is like gonna be him breaking up with Venom. Like they're kind of treating it as like a buddy like I don't know. What are you? What genre are you trying to be? A comedy, or are you trying to be a drama? It doesn't make sense. And I think a lot of things can blur that line, but I don't think something in the superhero genre can. I think you have to pick a lane and stick in it. The words of our friend of the show, Edward Kohler. Stay in your lane.
If he's listening to this, he's gonna be like, I have no idea what they're talking about.
He's gonna have no idea what we're talking about, but change the course of my life.
Anyways, yes.
I think it's trailer trash. I'm sorry. It didn't get me excited at all. I'm gonna see this movie out of obligation, and I'm probably gonna wait for it to come to home video. Sorry.
Yeah, we watched the second one in theaters, and Katie fell asleep for 3/4 of it, so.
Okay, well, make it good, and then I'll stay awake.
Sometimes I don't know with you. Sometimes I feel like you'll fall asleep no matter what.
Look. Sometimes people speak the truth, and I just have to live in my own delusion. Okay.
I hear you.
What other trailers came out this month?
Yeah, so the Minecraft trailer, the big kahuna.
God. Did we not talk about that yet?
No.
What are your thoughts? I don't know your thoughts. I texted it to you, but we didn't talk about it.
I like it. I'm excited. I don't care what people say. Some people really hate it. Some people are pretty indifferent. I feel like those are the two main feelings about it. But regardless, I'm excited to see it. I feel like there's so much you can do with this. I think as long as they stay true to the Minecraft heart, which is you can really do whatever you set your imagination to. And as long as in the movie that is the heart and soul of it, then let's make it happen.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious to see that because they're mixing the medias. If you haven't seen the trailer, they have this like fun Minecraft CGI world, but then also humans, essentially.
With Jack Black as Steve.
No, this is the biggest piece that I'm curious about. People have theorized that since Jack Black as Steve is not in the like block cartoon style, that he's not actually the main Steve. So that brings a question of like, okay, are there multiple Steves? Because technically in Minecraft, everybody can load in and play as Steve. So are there going to be like multiple iterations, or is it just one Steve, just one Alex? Like that kind of story mode? I don't know. I honestly think it'll be a very silly, fun time. I love Minecraft enough that I'll just go see it regardless. So this trailer didn't even need to be good.
Same.
But I'll go ahead and say it's trailer treasure. It did get me more excited than I already was.
Yep. I'm going to say treasure. That's my thought.
It's a treasure. Yeah. Final trailer, and I've been talking about this for months, but Bong Joon-ho's newest movie, Mickey 17, starring absolutely the GOAT cast, Robert Pattinson, Steven Yeun, who's one of my favorite actors of this generation, are absolutely eating. Summary of the movie, I know I talked about it before, but just again, since this trailer's dropped, it's about this guy who essentially like his body respawns, so they like experiment with him and kill him off, but one of the clones survives, and it is Mickey 17, the 17th iteration. That is the premise of this movie, where we pick up off of. This movie seems fantastic. If you don't know what Bong Joon-ho did, his main like most famous movie would be Parasite, which obviously won Best Picture a few years ago in 2019, and is known for blending the genres of comedy, mystery, horror, which is like my favorite genre is a movie that can blend between genres and themes. I'm hoping to see that a lot from this movie because I think it has the potential to be very fun and very dramatic. I have incredibly high expectations for this film. Louis, you saw this trailer too.
Yeah, I did. And I gotta say, I mean, it was one of those things for me that I was like, I don't know. I'm not like I wasn't like totally interested in it, but after seeing it, I'm like, okay, I could see. I think it'll be another opportunity for Robert Pattinson to show off his acting chops. Where like I feel for a very long time people are like he can't act because of Twilight and like that's it, but I want some justice for my boy Bruce Wayne. I want him to do a really good job. I want him to get like an Oscar nomination for it. Like I want to see him succeed more than anything. And I want to see him blow this out of the water, man. So I'm excited.
It was, I mean, isn't it so nice to see a redemption arc?
Yeah,
like seeing that with Brendan Fraser in this past couple of years. I hope he gets that too because I honestly think he does just fine in Batman. I thought his vocal performance in The Boy and the Heron was literally brilliant.
Great.
I hope he just absolutely kicks ass in this. I think it's trailer treasure. I'm very excited.
Me too. I also think it's trailer treasure. Yeah, I'm excited. I am also excited for it.
Awesome. Well, what's next up on the docket?
The new thing here is a segment we like to call Force Visions, where we look into the future using our future sight. That's also a One Piece joke. For the month ahead and tell you what there is to look forward to this October.
Sheesh.
October video game releases are as follows: Silent Hill 2, Just Dance 2025, A Quiet Place: The Road Ahead, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Life is Strange, and Double Exposure. Or Life is Strange Double Exposure. Life is Strange, good IP. If anybody's interested, go check that out. Right. Black Ops 6, I will be playing it.
You will?
Probably. I mean, it's Black Ops, man.
Would I like it?
I kind of... I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. It's an FPS, so you'll get stressed. You love those? Okay.
I love Halo. I love Fortnite.
Okay, but Halo and Fortnite play very different. Okay, let's try it. I say we try it one day.
We'll try it.
We'll try it.
I might go back. I might play some Halo today. After you said the word Halo, I was like...
That sounds fun.
I kind of want to go for some Halo today.
Anyway, moving on to some movies.
Jeez,
October 4th has Joker. Oh, do you want to say this one?
No, go ahead. You know I'm most excited for this.
Joker, I'm interested. I'm interested in Joker 2. I'm interested to see how this does just with the critics and people. I saw for early screenings people didn't like it, so I'm interested to see. Terrifier 3 Saturday night, and We Live in Time. October 18th, Smile 2, and October 25th, Venom The Last Dance.
I literally can't wait for October. October is going to be one of my favorite movie months this year. First off, Joker 2, we know is one of my most anticipated movies of the year. Terrifier 3 is a franchise I absolutely love for no reason. They're not that good. They're just incredibly entertaining. Saturday Night, which is the Saturday Night Live biopic parody comedy movie with an absolutely fucking stacked cast. It will be getting awards buzz. It already has been. And We Live in Time, which is the Andrew Garfield, Florence Pugh rom-com. I say rom-com. I think it's a romantic drama, probably.
I just love both of them. They're both
what
my
a weekend.
People.
What a fucking weekend. That's going to be a crazy triple feature. Smile 2. Did you like Smile? Did you see it ever?
No.
People raved about it, but I'm like, I don't get it. I thought it was fine. It was okay.
Yeah.
You obviously know how we feel about Venom, but before we wrap up, what else? Do we have one more segment, Louis? This week on Screens, where we let you know what we are currently up to and whether we think you should check it out. Do you want to go first? Yeah. This week I finished watching Sunny, the Apple TV series, which I thought was a limited series. Turns out it's not. With Rashida Jones. That's been fun. I actually really liked that. It's like a mystery, like drama distributed by A24. I thought it was interesting. I would check it out. I would need to see a second season. I feel like I didn't get all the answers I necessarily wanted from it. But I always feel that way at the end of a season. I don't think I watched a single movie this week, but I am going to see The Substance this afternoon, which I already talked about a little bit earlier. And yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it. What about you?
Very fun. Let's see. I begun to watch Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest. It's an anime, obviously. I've been watching a lot of Dance Moms, not on purpose. Gloria has just been wanting to watch it, so I'm like,
is it entertaining?
It hurts. Well, it's entertaining. It just hurts because Abby Lee Miller is just terrible. She's just not a nice lady to these little girls who are just trying to dance. So I have been watching that, and I mean that's pretty much it. Haven't been able to do much other than like work on things and like and I've been reading obviously Jujutsu Kaisen number 8, and actually Jujutsu has its last chapter next week, unfortunately. So this week, as we are recording this, was its second to last chapter.
Damn.
We got one more.
I expect to hear about it.
You will.
I know I will.
You will. But that's about it. Where can people find you?
People can find me at RealSlimKatie25 on TikTok, Letterboxd, and Instagram, but mostly they can find me here on Geek Gourmet, releasing videos every week. What about you, Louis?
You can find me the LuDio956 over on the Instagram, the TikTok, and my anime list, in addition to right here on Geek Gourmet.
Yeah, and if you like our content, please give us a like, give us a share. The best way that we can keep making content for you guys is by exposing us to more people, so we can start to grow our little business. So yeah, feel free to leave a comment down below. I really want to hear everybody's thoughts, especially on the like new trailers and what October releases you are most looking forward to. Otherwise, I think that does it for us. Get
your Geek Gourmet.